If you were a black teenager in the late 2000s that spent a lot of time on MySpace and YouTube, you probably are familiar with Vistoso Bosses. Vistoso Bosses was an Atlanta teenage eccentric pop duo consisting of Kelsey and Taylor. Vistoso means colorful or eye-catching in Spanish. They rose to popularity with their 2008 song, Delirious. Their music sound was on the intersection of pop, punk, and hip-hop. Kelsey mainly rapped while Taylor did the vocals.
Gonna just be us, nobody else. You wanna fly, then take a step and never give up. We're just having fun, breaking all the rules, living in the dream, in the dream.
Their personalities and eccentric style consisting of colorful clothing, knee-high socks, faux freckles, and face stickers helped them amass a following of teenage black girls. They regularly uploaded vlogs and homemade music videos, and in 2008, they signed a deal with the Atlanta-based record label Collie Park Music, a subsidiary of Interscope Records, and home to artists like Bubba Sparxxx, Yin Yang Twins, Hurricane Chris, and the label's most successful artist to date, Soulja Boy. Vistoso Bosses contributed to the era of the black teenager YouTube takeover and dance crazes. In 2009, Delirious was commercially released featuring their label mate Soulja Boy.
Staring back at me, my heart starts to skip a beat. Love the way you walk, love it when you talk. My feelings so deep.
That year, off the success of Delirious, they landed partnerships with Reebok, Beats by Dre, and Pastry Shoes.
Hey, I'm Taylor P.
What's up? And I'm Kelsey.
And we're Vistoso Bosses. Right now, we're on the set of our Reebok shoot, and you can see us rocking the classic nylons at Underground Station.
Are they hot?
They appeared in 17 magazine, joined BET's college tour, and were featured on MySpace's Artist of the Week. Vistoso Bosses collaborated with Lady Gaga's DJ and producer Space Cowboy on his song Party Like Animal. They spent 2009 and 2010 recording songs for their debut album titled Confetti, and were on track to become the next big alternative group.
Introducing coolest girls, wrecking this. You know all the girls like us. You know just how we roll. Get the boys rock some non-stop. Boy crazy that you know, but the world, what's up without girls?
But the album never saw the light of day, and they disappeared into obscurity, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. Although their careers were short-lived, they still had a huge impact on alternative black girls and black teen culture in those days. In the year 2020, 12 years after the release, Delirious was sampled twice, the first by Rod Wave on his Letter from Houston track, and the other by Future and Lil Uzi for a song on their collaborative album. I had quite a few requests from you guys to feature Vistoso Bosses on my Where Are They Now series, but I didn't find much information during the research process. So I decided to track down Taylor and Kelsey to see where they've been and ask those burning questions, like what exactly happened to Vistoso Bosses and all their music, and whether or not they were willing to reunite to record new music. This is their first time speaking out publicly in an interview in over 10 years, so if you guys are interested in hearing them tell their side of things, please stick around until the end. Now let's get into the conversation. Why didn't Confetti ever get released? Were you guys notified beforehand of the samples? And did you guys receive any royalties? Black Femininity TV welcomes you, ladies. Vistoso Bosses were supposed to be the next big alternative black girl group. What the heck happened? We're gonna get into that. You guys were Vistoso Bosses Take me back to the beginning. Like, are y'all friends? Are y'all sisters? Are y'all cousins? Because I know a lot of people were curious. What is the relation between you two?
Well, okay, so pretty much it all started from our mothers being in a rap group together. And I know that Taylor and her mom traveled a lot. They lived out in Cali and then they came to Atlanta. And then I mean, we of course as babies, been in the same room, been in the same everything pretty much. But once she got older, came to Cali and we linked up. And I mean, at that point, we just called each other cousins. Cause I mean, you know how in the Black community, you just be like, when you tight, you be like, yeah, that's my cousin. So, I mean, yeah. And it started from there. Ty, I guess asked my mom for me to come over. And then I came, met Tay after she came from California and it went from there.
From there, we established a friendship. We did always have a genuine friendship.
Yeah.
So it was like, very like organic for us to be, calling each other cousin. Like, and like she said, our moms were pregnant with us being friends. So it was kind of like we already, had a little slight connection. So it was very natural. We were easily friends from the jump.
And you did mention that you guys came from like a musical family, a musical background. So tell me what is like the connection with your family and music or the music industry?
So first, like she said, our moms were in a group together. They were in a group called Rossi. You can still look it up to this day on YouTube. I mean, they were like the dopest. Yeah, they were like super cool. It was like it's funny because it's like opposite of what we were doing, but it was like so good that like we even had talks about like we making their music because their music was so dope. Like they were like kind of like a how would you describe it? Like I don't know, like the hip hop, like like the female outcast. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like rappers. They were real like hardcore, but they were also kind of girly. So I think they contributed a lot to the industry as well. I guess kind of more so behind the scenes, and then everybody in our family, I feel like between me and her does something, whether it's DJing or producing or playing instruments or singing, rapping, writing. It's kind of like that just literally runs in our family.
To be the best that you can be means I can do better, whatever I tell you. I change like the weather forecast, bring the shiny day upon my inner strength, feeling good.
So what made y'all become a duo? Like were y'all already making music together or like how did that come about?
I would say from my perspective, like I said, when I came over there, I think Tay had already had some music going or she was just like already pumped about writing. So, and then I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so long, Lord Jesus.
Go ahead, tell me. I'm gonna help you if it's not.
I think you asked me like you want to get in the group or form a group or something.
Literally.
And then rap. I was like, I can't rap. Then your mom rap. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and rap. And I was just like, okay, try. I wrote something. It was what was the song? Come on,
what was the song? What was the first song?
It was like a little rock song.
Girl, come on. But okay, no, but we can. Oh, okay. So after this, we're gonna hit up my mom because I know she remembers. It was like the first song we wrote, and it was so like left field and so weird, but we did it.
Yeah, we did.
And I remember that's exactly what happened. No, she's right. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
How old were you guys?
15, 16. We was out. We was out there. We was out, boy. We had to be
But we was out working though. We was out working.
Yeah, that was the time where street promotion was in before like social media came and transitioned.
Right.
So where did the name Vistoso Bosses come from?
So it's so funny because when I figured out we were going to be a group, like we were already friends, I figured out we were going to be a group. So I'm like, all right, if we're going to be a group, we have to have a name, and it has to be like something like really cool, something like fitting. Back then, we had just gotten into makeup. We thought we was cute. We used to go to birthday bash or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? So one day we literally took a piece of paper and we wrote down everything that we thought described ourselves. So I just I wanted it to be different. I didn't know how I was gonna make it different. So I was like, oh well, let's just have it in a different language. Let's just, have it in Spanish. So we literally typed in probably about 1,000 different words that in the Spanish English translator on Google, and gorgeous just happened to be one of them. So we typed it in, and it was like Vistoso, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's it. And then we kind of took that, and we literally like wrote words beside it. I mean, literally everything we did was like one big brainstorm. And then once it sounded right, it looked right, or felt right, we kind of just ran with it. And then we put bosses behind it, and after that it was over with. And we went through a lot of different names before that for other things we were doing. But that one just kind of like stuck. It felt right. We were in my grandma's little office on the computer, and I will never forget that day because it really stuck with us, and it fit us, and it was something that we grew into, and it did what it needed to do.
So when y'all joined as a duo, did you plan on like just doing it for fun, or was the goal to break into the music industry?
It started off as like, okay, we know we wanted to do music, but it just became something fun. But we took it serious, but it was just a fun. Cause I mean, we were young. We didn't really have no responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we had so much time on our hands to really create, and we love to do it.
And I think for me, at that time, we were spending a lot of time together, but I think it was something that was fun for us. But I always knew in my mind that we were going to be big. I always knew that we were going to break into the industry because that's what I wanted to do. But the goal was to always keep it fun, like she said. Like we never wanted it to feel like at any point it wasn't fun because we have so much fun making music. And I think that it's important to mention now. I see, as I'm older, it's important to mention that we did music way before we were even Vistoso bosses. So that was always something that was a part of our friendship.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We made MySpace, Fruity Loops. We made everything. We did Fruity Loops.
Yes. We made diss songs.
Yeah.
We produced our own music before we even, before we even got to being Vistoso bosses. And when we did it on a tape recorder. So that was the first beat we had as Vistoso bosses. It was on the tape recorder.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned MySpace. I think that's how me and my best friend found out about y'all. This was like the age of MySpace, and teenagers were taking over YouTube. When was it? It was like March 2008 when y'all uploaded your first video, Boy Crazy. Were you guys like popular before you got on YouTube?
Like I said, street promotions and all that stuff was going on. So we were definitely in the clubs, teen clubs. For real heavy. Just out. We were just out taking the MARTA everywhere we could be, and then just letting everybody know who we were. And we already dressed different. So of course people already gravitated to us. So they would ask questions, and we would tell them, oh, we were still about we're a girl group, and just start, in MySpace we was real heavy too. Just meeting a lot of people, just doing a lot of little videos, or just dropping like you said, Tay, we were doing music before then. So
we were definitely well known before we got on YouTube. I think YouTube kind of introduced us to, obviously people that were out in limb. And that's when it started to really open up. But I mean, as far as locally, we was kind of out there. So we were really, like you said, putting in the footwork and the foundation for us when we did get on YouTube, like, oh, we know them. And then it kind of reaches further than that. So, yeah.
Yeah. YouTube just made it to where, like Tay said, just a bigger network.
Yeah.
People.
Right, so your style, this was around the time of like the New Boys and Jerkins, skinny jeans. Y'all were wearing faux freckles before everybody else started in the 2010s. Like, is there anybody that like influenced y'all, or like were you just jumping on all the teen trends at the time?
I gotta say, we were the trend at the time, and respectfully, we were the trend at the time. Like everything after that that looks like us came from us. I mean, I didn't see nobody else rocking fake freckles. I always wanted freckles my whole life. Literally was thinking about how I can get them freaking tattooed on my face. So that's where that came from. And everything we did, we kind of got that style, that swag, that just everything from our moms. Their style wasn't completely like ours, but in their own way, they always did what they wanted to do. So when me and Kelsey got together, it kind of felt very natural. We can do what we want to do because our mama's been doing this. You know what I'm saying? They they don't care what anybody has to say about them. They dress how they want, they talk how they want, they do what they want. And that was something that was always okay for us. So that was our comfort zone. Our influence came from us genuinely following how we feel and what we like, regardless of, you know what I'm saying, what we're supposed to be doing or how anybody feels about it. Because I mean, let's not get it twisted. There were a lot of people that thought we were tacky and, you know, tried to pick on us, and you know, they had their opinions, and oh, they ain't even, yeah, you know. So but regardless, despite all of that, we kind of stayed true to who we were. So our style was influenced by literally us.
I will say too, though, we was the first to rock them cartoon backpacks. Okay.
That's
So everybody, yeah.
controversial. That's a
It
controversial
was
one.
controversial, but it's truth. I mean, before we was going to the underground with the Spider-Man backpacks and the, I mean, who was that? We like again and again, we literally used to get picked on.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
wasn't that easy. I mean, we were like you said when we first came on, we were supposed to be the, you know, alternative black girl group. So imagine us going to the underground as alternative black girls in that time. That wasn't something that was like, you know, now it's nostalgic to everybody and, you know, however y'all feel you like it. But back then for us growing up where we were growing, it wasn't, that really wasn't something, I'm not gonna say that wasn't accepted, but it wasn't the norm.
Okay, so how did the music end up getting to Mr. Collie Park, the producer? Because at the time there was Soldier Boy, who was his most successful artist to date. And in the past, he had like the Yin Yang Twins and Bubba Sparks. So how in the world did he get a hold of your music?
Well, okay, so it started off by we were in the streets and we knew Meezy, who works with 21 Savage, who was cool with Charlie Jabley, who, and then at the time Charlie was, I think he was doing something with Soldier Boy at the time. He was his camera guy or something in the beginning, and then I think that's how that relationship happened. So when Meezy started talking to Charlie about us, then that's just, I think that's how that came around.
Charlie decided he wanted to manage us.
Yeah.
And he was very ambitious, like probably outside of myself, I would say that Charlie was probably the one of the most ambitious people that I remember coming in contact with, like even now in my life, because it was kind of like he said it, he wanted to do it. He decided that he wanted to manage us, and we're like, okay, whatever. And then from there, it kind of just took on a life of its own. We kind of knew that we were going to be what we were going to be, and he knew it too, and he knew what he was capable of. So then he started like in a studio time. I mean, it literally took on a life of its own. He kind of just really kind of got in where he fit in and showed Color Park us, and from there it was like, oh yeah.
Did Soldier Boy's success like influence your decision to sign with Collie Park?
I don't know what, like there was no influence for us to sign with Color Park. You know what I mean? We were young. This was our first deal on the table. We heard Interscope. They really seemed to understand what we were trying to do and understand that it was important for us to stay in control in order for this, what we had built, to kind of keep going. So I mean, I would just say that we were young, and there was really not much of a need to be influenced, honestly, to sign to a major label.
Yeah.
And although Delirious, you guys put it out originally in 2008, it really started to pop in 2009. I saw you guys did like a premiere on 106 and Park and everything. Y'all being teenagers, how did y'all juggle school and trying to have a music career?
Girl, I was in school physically. Like,
Mhm.
so I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, once we was out doing our thing and like finding out that we about to do like a radio tour or whatever, and I was like, I checked out mentally on school. So it was like I was there, and then but I wasn't there enough. So I mean, it was cool. Um, yeah, I just didn't really care to be at school at that age because I mean, I was doing what I love to do.
And then I was homeschooled, so it wasn't really much of a transition for me because I was already so right, and we had already made all these songs anyway. So
Oh Lord.
I think you guys shot with 17 magazine. What are some of the milestones that took place at the height of Delirious?
it's so crazy that you asked that because I feel like, I guess, now being able to look back and appreciate, we did so many things. Um, like you said, 17 magazines, that's freaking huge. We were on BET, that's freaking huge.
Yeah.
We did a Sprite Step Up tour, that's freaking huge. One of my fondest memories, I think that it's so crazy that I have is, we were in New York and we stayed at the Time Hotel, and it's just very, I don't know, that's the one memory that like kind of stands out to me the most. Um, because in that moment, I think I realized kind of what we were doing. I don't think we realized a lot of stuff we were doing at the time because everything I feel like was a milestone. Everything was like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like it was big. It was big. And I think that because it was so natural to us and for us that we didn't really understand. I mean, Avant wrote a song for us. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So that's crazy.
Right.
And we were like 17, kind of like, yeah, we're in the studio to what about? Like, girl,
Like,
oh,
hello.
ma'am, girl, you're in the studio with the Vaughns. Hello. So, yeah.
Yeah, you guys worked with a lot of people that initial
Yeah.
year of the success. You had Space Cowboy, who
Yeah.
was like a huge
Crazy.
part of Lady Gaga's early success.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Red
Crazy.
One as well. Like, what was
Crazy.
that like working with them?
It was
That was
really
probably the
easy.
funnest.
It
Yeah.
was
It was
and
easy. You said it right the first time. Yeah, Kelsey, you said it right. It was easy. It was
easy.
like probably the most naturalist thing I've done. It was
Yes.
very, it was like a perfect fit.
Yep. It did. And you was so crazy. We just kept requesting. They was just like, who y'all want to work with? It was like Space Cowboy. Like
Yeah.
it was a no for us. So and they did it. They made it happen. And he's really cool. We had a few writers. Oh no, we had one writer in there, I believe, at the time. And it was just very, very easy.
Yeah, it was so easy. Easy. I remember it being really quick too, working with him.
Yep. It was
Like we
really
pushed it
quick.
out, and then we went back. We were staying at the Roosevelt, I think, in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Pushed that song out in like a couple of hours, I feel like. And we went back to our hotel, and that's when we made our little, our little video, and then we put it on
More
YouTube.
glitter. I remember the song.
Cherry, cherry, boom, boom. Space Cowboy, just play that track. Vistoso, party just like animals. Let's go, party's out of control. So, like animals.
Oh my gosh, y'all did a song with Waka Flocka called Tatted Up. That was also pretty big.
So that song is crazy. The crazy part about that song, should I tell the truth and say the devil?
Yeah,
Okay.
always.
Cool. So the crazy part about this song, love Waka Flocka. So we weren't actually in the studio when he was recording that song. But the crazy thing is, me and Kelsey got to be so Bad Boy. And that's when they kind of had decided that they, we needed like a little sprinkle of urban or whatever. And at the time, we were kind of like, like that ain't really what we're going for. We're not trying to, we want to be who we are, whatever. So we got the track from Fat Boy and we wrote to it. And it's so alternative that they were like, oh, we can't do nothing with this. And they brought
Right.
in a writer. That's when we started working with Ebony Love. She's like
Yeah.
amazing. Um, and she came in and rewrote the song, and it was so good. And I remember being in the studio and having to really like sing, and she was like giving it to me, and that was like a learning moment, a great learning experience for me because she was very like patient, but it was like, oh, you got this, you can get it right, hit it like this, hit it like this. I'm like, all right, and we did about 70 takes, and then we finally got it, and it's just kind of like,
I do that.
um, yeah, right. So it was like even your verses, it was kind of like we had to get it perfected. But I think the production of that song it sounds amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
then of course the label had the idea to put Waka on it. I think Fat Boy at the time might have been working with him or something like that. So it kind of made sense. But that's still one of my favorites, and it sounds so clean. It's so
Yeah, I
like
know. Like when we got in the studio, we did ask to add certain elements to it, like tatted like a biker boy. Like we asked him to like put that in there. That's the concept we want to go with. At the time, we like guys with tattoos, so that was the thing. And two, we were writing as well, so we was getting help writing. So that was it's just the whole experience was really cool, and yeah,
yeah.
that session crazy.
Okay, so you guys recorded all of these songs and you kept teasing your Confetti debut album. Why didn't Confetti ever get released?
Mm, I, look, I don't. You probably know better than me.
Um. So, why didn't Confetti ever get released? Confetti didn't ever get released because the way everything kind of dismantled was, I think, a little bit different than our label was kind of used to dealing with. Like I said, we're gonna keep reminding y'all that we were young at the time because that plays like a very prominent part in our whole story overall. Between our friendship, between our decisions that we made to sign certain papers and just everything. So at the
Mhm.
time we were very young. I think a lot of things that transpired were not. There was no rule book on how to deal with two teenage girls,
Right,
and um, that's kind of just generally what it was. And we were actually friends. We actually have families. I mean, my mom and her aunt are still best friends to this day. Literally, they're probably on the phone. So it was kind of a more complicated situation than not. And I think that no one around us really knew how to move forward and handle it so that things could still um, go on and it not kind of be just like done. You know what I
right.
mean? I think in this day and age now, I think that there would be had anything that transpired back then happened now, um, there would be different ways to handle it to where like our album could have came out because we do actually have an album.
So you do have an album
Absolutely.
and it was shelved.
No, not
Oh
necessarily. I wouldn't
no,
say I wouldn't say it was shelved. I wouldn't say it was shelved. It didn't We didn't really reach the point of it necessarily being shelved. And that's something that me and Kelsey, or Kelsey and I, are in the process of putting together because I know that a lot of people really do want to know kind of, what happened, where's our music. So we're in we're working on some production on really kind of like answering a lot of questions because we do have a lot of people that like followed us in our journey for so long. Like I know you probably still have people that you've been knowing since they were like 10 years old, 12 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that really kind of are, they want to know kind of what happened. So we're working on that as far as like getting deeper into detail about everything specific.
Did you guys ever like formally end your relationships with like Interscope and Collie Park, or was it just something that fizzled out eventually?
Yeah, all that goes with part of like telling that story.
Yeah, and I just think, like I said, again, I think it's something that we didn't formally do anything. I don't think anything was formally done. Um, we were very much not all the way developed, and it was kind of it's a weird situation because it's like I said, no one knew how to deal with two teenage girls.
No.
Like you said out of your own mouth, Mr. College Park, his roster of his artists. We are completely different from everything that he was used to kind of dealing with. So,
Even after you guys stopped making music, were you guys like still in contact? Were you guys cool or?
No, we lost contact.
we lost contact. We haven't spoken to each other. The first time we spoke to each other was when Rod Wave sampled our song.
Wow. Okay. We're going to get to that. But before we get to that, Taylor, I saw that you were pursuing a solo career. And I think the first time I noticed it, I saw you on Spoken Reason's YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, that's the girl from Vistoso Bosses. So what was your solo career like?
My solo career was I think it was very good. I kind of was just exploring. I think I was in a weird space. I was trying to continue something by myself. That I wasn't used to doing by myself. Not that I couldn't do it, but I wasn't used to doing it by myself. I wouldn't say that it wasn't successful. The music that I made was really good. It was very much how I felt. So it was kind of pure and like raw and uncut. But I think that it fizzled out because of all the other things in between.
Mm-hmm.
So we just told you we weren't in contact since last year. So yeah.
We got Taylor in the building. Taylor, are you having fun?
Of course I'm having fun. I'm so excited to be here. This really is the livest audience right now, so I'm loving it.
Now, this is your first time on the show. You came on the show before.
Right.
Tell everybody about your last time here.
You guys probably remember me from Vistoso Bosses. We had the song Delirious. So that was a great experience. We came up here and we did the thing, and now I'm so excited to be back here again.
No doubt. Are you still working on music as well?
Of course, always working on music, always.
Where can people find out your music and follow you?
You guys can find out my music from YouTube, youtube.com/The Taylor Blaine. Also my Twitter.
And then Kelsey, what were you up to after Vistoso Bosses?
Well, after Vistoso, I actually got in a group. Kind of before that, I was helping my sister in her group. So it was like I was kind of involved. I was honestly lost. I mean, I can't even front like just like Taylor, it was just kind of like it felt weird trying to do stuff by yourself and just kind of, and then being that age, like I don't know what 18, 19 or something, like
We were so
yeah, it was just like, I mean, I was trying my best, and then I mean, when I hit about 19, yeah, I got in a group. I got in another girl group, and it just went from there. I just continued to kind of do music with a new group of girls, and actually had someone that was a part of Vistoso's project put the new group together. So that was just like, it just kind of went like that, how I did that.
Okay, so even after all those years, what has it been like 12 years, I think, since Delirious was commercially released? Like, y'all are still referenced. Like, how does it feel to know that you guys
That's
made?
why I said.
But I can say that there's not a day that goes by we don't get somebody in our. I know Kelsey too. Somebody mentioning us, listen to the lyrics playing in the elevator, playing on the radio. Yeah, we see it.
I mean, I think it's really cool that it's coming back around. Like, it's definitely waking us up because, like Taylor said, I mean, we were young. It was just us having fun too. It was just like, I mean, we were being kids. So
Which
now being grown, we like, dang. I mean, we knew it, but it was just like we didn't really know.
because I don't think that we thought like all these years later that it would be like as nostalgic as it is. I guess.
Yeah. And people are like actually yearning for music like that too. And they're
Yeah.
really asking for like music like that and just create more. And I'm just like, oh shit, like that's for real. That's what y'all asking for. Cause I mean, the music industry is completely different from the type of music that we made.
Y'all were influential, whether you realize it or not. In 2020, Delirious was sampled twice. It was sampled on Rod Wave's song Letter to Houston and also on a track on the Lil Uzi Vert Future collaborative album.
When you look in my eye, you make me delirious. That's something.
Okay, I have a few things, but I'm gonna just ask, were you guys notified beforehand of the samples? And did you guys receive any royalties for the samples?
But I don't know. It's like we sell that business. It's all up to. I mean, we could say, okay. Well, our producer James did reach out to us and say like the sample is being used.
Ain't nothing but a little bit of. That's all I gotta
Ain't
say.
nothing but a little bit of straightening, for real.
Do you guys like the songs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a super Future fan. So we yeah. But don't let it get straightened but straightened. So
But that goes to show the influence because Lil Uzi, Future.
Yeah. I mean the little Uzi and Future, somebody told us about that. We didn't know.
I'm gonna tell the truth.
Yeah.
This is our first interview together. Freaking how long? Our whole generation, and when we was coming up, and we was doing music before it, we was the Social Bosses, Black Mob, uh, Pretty Killer Click, SOB. You know what I'm saying? All of that, Travis Porter, all of that. It's kind of like a thing where we came up together. FLY, all of us, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of weird. I don't know, it's different. People don't really necessarily pay homage or reach out or show love nowadays. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that type of thing. Because it's kind of like you said, we're influential. So if it was somebody that was still out or, then I feel like it would have been a conversation or you would have reached out. Like, we're not looking for clout. You feel me? Like,
Right.
we are who we are. We've already came, made our mark, did what we need to do. But it's kind of like one of those things to where it's like, damn, like, people hear us and they send it to us. So why not, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we about to go ahead and whoop the boot and use this. You know what I mean? So I think that was just kind of like a weird thing for us, especially because we listen to these people. These are they're artists just like us. We're artists too. No matter who wants to consider us whatever they want to. Again, if we wasn't influential, you wouldn't be using. So it was just kind of weird that because we really we knew, but we didn't know. So it was
Yeah.
like, okay, like, oh yeah, is that me? What the fuck? Oh, okay, all right, yeah, like it slaps, but it was good.
Now,
Yeah.
are you guys working to get all your old music uploaded to streaming platforms?
That is definitely in the conversations for sure. Working on it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work. We have so much music. I mean, we could literally sit here and play what, easily a whole album for you. What, 12 songs?
Yeah.
12, 10?
Wow.
That are back to back. Every one of them is going to be a smash.
Yep.
And true, very much true to the aesthetic that we had before. Like, so we're working to do certain things.
Aside from all the old music, like, are you guys gonna resume Vistoso Bosses, like record some new music, or what's going on with you two?
I feel like, I think we're like Tay said, we're just trying to get it together and just in conversation, make sure we keep contact. At this, we're adults, so we have adult lives and
Right.
kids.
And I live in
So
California.
it's all about even just mentally trying to be there as well. And I feel like we'll get there. It just on our own time at this point, because we gotta learn. It's like we gotta tap back into that, and then on top of figuring out our old stuff, I'm trying to drop that.
And I think that, like she said, we gotta tap back into that mentally. The first thing that me and Kelsey were friends. So we just started talking back and got in contact with each other last year. So we are really working on just having normal everyday to day conversation.
Yeah.
Tuning into the TikTok, double tapping on Instagram, things of that nature, because that is going to create the organic chemistry that we had from the start, because we were friends, we were having fun together, we're laughing at stuff together. It's funny, like this, you know what I mean? Like that's where it all came from. That's where it all stemmed from. As far as the music, I personally feel like there's nothing. It's nothing to me. When we find ourselves in the same space, I'm in California, she's in Atlanta. When we find ourselves in the same space, I don't think it's going to be anything to make a song, to write a song,
Right.
to record a song, because that's kind of literally who we are. So that's the easy part. We are definitely planning to give our fans something, and I think that, me personally, I think that they deserve what we did and then some, because the music that we made was timeless. All of it.
Yeah.
So,
The girls are loving nostalgia. Everybody loves the 2000s, Y2K, all that stuff. There's so many different like reunions going on. If a network like BET or even like Omarion and them came to y'all and said, do you want to join our show Encore to restart your music careers or join our tour? Would you guys be interested in doing that? A reality TV show or a tour?
because with the
Yeah, that would be definitely a conversation, because reality is different nowadays, the way they be setting up and editing. So that's, yeah. Tour, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
we're real people.
Yeah.
And reality TV is like kind of crazy. It's messy. And no matter what we went through, we don't want to ever do anything. I personally feel I don't want to do nothing to show us in a weird light. I don't want nothing to do with showing her in a weird light, or it's just, like that's kind of not really. When we're still in the Social Bosses, we were actually working on doing a reality show.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we would be open, but we're not gonna be like we ain't about to be acting like we doing a whole bunch of stuff we ain't doing. We're not about to be having edited looking like we fighting and we not.
Yeah, it
We
just
not
depends on. Yeah, it's just reality TV is a hard thing to just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Before we end this, I want to know, what were your favorite songs recorded?
I feel like all the records that we have done and just the Confetti album, it's just been, I liked all the records.
Like Kelsey said, every single song that we haven't done a bad song. We haven't recorded a bad song. I mean, even the song with Avant is out on YouTube. The boyfriend song we had posted like a little clip, but that song was written by Avant, and they already had it for us. And I was so mad because I was like, I don't know, I don't. It's R&B. It's like, girl, shut up.
It was R&B. It was straight R&B, but it was a big record.
Exactly right. So, and I think at the time too, we hadn't experienced what infidelity or anything like that. So it was kind of weird. So, but I think every song we've done, I mean, even Tatted, that's like,
yeah, Tatted. Okay, Tatted is the one that is one of my favorites.
And then our mixtape, when we did The World Was Up Without Girls, I think our mixtape is probably my favorite. How about that? Yeah, because that was some real organic artistry at its finest. We stayed in the studio for like a month. We never left. We never went to sleep. We were surviving off like Red Bulls. We used to drink those dang NOS drinks.
Yep.
And stay up all day, and we would have to like take showers in the studio. It was crazy. And then I think we were delusional because that's when we started making them little videos talking about our feet. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We had no sleep. We was in there recording. Yeah. So, that was a time. So yeah,
the mixtape was definitely like the one.
That was the one. It was all pink, everything. Yeah, we did what needed to be done. So we don't have a bad song, respectfully.
What were your favorite moments being teen stars?
The traveling part was really fun. The recording ourselves all the time. Just being, I guess, free. Being able to do what we wanted to do or just kind of like have fun, and all the fans, all the love that we were getting, meeting new people. I feel like that, yeah. And being on stage.
We learned everything, we took from it, everything we gave to it. We really gave 100% every time. And it was just an amazing experience being a teenager and being able to really just do what it is we wanted to do. That was like a very fulfilling experience.
What are the Vistoso bosses doing right now?
We definitely want people to follow us. We have our Instagram. Tell us what's our Instagram.
It's official Vistoso Bosses.
Okay. So we're kind of in the process of really figuring out what we want to give and what they need to get. You know what I'm saying? And then I think we're looking probably next year to get together, get in the studio. We're working on merch right now. Putting out kind of like the basic stuff with, because we were really big on like buttons and like long socks and stuff like that. So we are definitely literally in process of working on merch. And individually, we're both, doing things, but we're gonna always be tapped into music. We got our YouTube, so we still putting stuff on. My YouTube is the Taylor Blaine. And my daughter is doing her own little YouTube thing, Sky's House. 2022 is going to be very lit for the Vistoso Bosses.
Well, thank you guys so much. This feels like so full circle for me. Like in my videos, when I do like my Where Are They Nows, I have seen a lot of comments saying, do a video on what happened to the Vistoso bosses. And I was always like, well, I can't do a video because I don't know what happened to them. So thank y'all so much for coming on Black Femininity TV. I'm so excited.
Thank you for having us.
About to do.
This is our first interview since we've got back in contact. So this is really cool. And it's a very cool moment that we can have this moment with you, especially because you see us at Atlantic Station, and just like you said, full circle. So we appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much.
Hi, I'm fly, and her, she's bad. That's my ace. Student and booty, we come to stay. Making that noise and shaking your brain. We have fun, fun, fun.